Welcome back to the official Atari Games podcast. I'm your host, Jason Polanski, and I am joined by a trio of very special guests, starting with returning guest Chris Kohler, Editorial Director at Digital Eclipse. Chris, welcome back. How you doing?
Thank you. Excited to be back on the Atari podcast.
Did you turn in your punch card?
Did I turn in my punch card?
Yeah, you get the punch card. You get a punch.
Oh, I see. Yeah. But if I rack up 5 podcasts, I get a free podcast. How does this work?
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
I'm still working on that one. Yeah.
Also joining us for the first time is Frank Cifaldi, founder of the Video Game History Foundation and former head of restoration at Digital Eclipse. Welcome, Frank. How you doing?
Hi, thanks. Good to be here.
Good to have you. Excited to have you on to go deep into the Disney Afternoon Collection. But I want to get
company lore.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Always love to get behind the scenes company lore. So please,
happy to.
Please indulge us. And lastly, joining us, another returning guest, Sam Brown, release manager here at Atari. Welcome back, Sam.
Hi. Happy to be here. Happy to be playing some good old Disney games.
Yeah. And we are going to play some Disney games. But first, got some housekeeping to take care of. First of all, review the podcast if you haven't done so yet. If you're here, if you're new, if you like what we do here, the reviews help. Go to your podcast service of choice, be it iTunes, Spotify, whatever. Review us, say nice things, say mean things. Give us 5 stars. That's the important part because that helps the algorithm. Join the Atari Club Discord. You can do that with the link I have in the description below. And had some announcements since the last podcast dropped. First of all, let me swerve a bit. Bubsy 4D has a release date. It's coming out May 22nd. Watch the trailer if you haven't done it. It's a good one.
Hang on, that is my birthday. That's awful. How could you do this to me?
You're welcome.
Congratulations.
Yeah, you're welcome. And how
could you release a Bubsy game on my birthday? I'm really mad.
That was a gift. That was a gift. We're giving you the gift of a...
I can't escape this.
Great,
it's funny.
This stupid
Bubsy.
cat.
Wait. You have history, right? You have Bubsy history?
Not really. I mean, I have thoughts.
Yeah. Okay.
Including that this new game is great, by the way. But
there you go.
But my hot take is he should have never come back. You should have left him in his grave.
Now you could correct me if I'm wrong. I'm gonna take a risk here, but I believe that Micah was he got you to sit down and play an early version of Bubsy 4D, right?
That's true.
And you were mad that it was good.
Yeah.
Right. Do you care to explain?
As you should be.
I think I just did. He should still be in it. He should still be in the grave that we left him in during Bubsy3D.com. Bubsy at the James Turrell retrospective. He should still be in there. That's the canon ending of Bubsy. I don't know who this new cat is.
He's on a redemption arc. He's seen some things. He's back. He's back to do some cool stuff. Make amends, all right, with you and everybody else that he's wronged personally.
I'm not going to continue with
Bubsy
my
apology
takes.
tour.
Let's move on.
All right, fair enough. The point is, you can wishlist it on your platform of choice or pre-order the physical Possum edition for Switch 1 and 2 at your online retailer of choice. You could even do that on Atari.com. I'll have a link below for you to do that. And for the purposes of why we're here today, just announced Disney Afternoon Collection for Switch 1 and 2 is releasing on February 26th. Physical and digital pre-orders are available now. So go check that out. And now, stalled enough. We took some weird tangents. I didn't expect to spend that much time on Bubsy. We could spend more time on Bubsy because we also announced a plush that you could pre-order on the website. But don't worry about it. I feel like that's the thing that could like haunt Frank, where he like wakes up and there's the plush just sitting on his mantle.
We have one of the 1993 plushes over there, actually.
Oh my God.
I'm looking right at him. He's
nice.
Gross.
The Bubsy slander. We got to get off of this. Let's talk about Disney Afternoon Collection. Sam,
yes.
start the capture as
we
jump in and talk about Disney Afternoon Collection.
I am starting the recording right now.
Nice. So, where do I want to start? Let's start here. Chris or Frank, who wants to tell us why we are revisiting Disney Afternoon Collection and maybe a little bit of the history of the original release of the Disney Afternoon Collection.
I'll start out by why we're back again talking about Disney Afternoon Collection. So Disney Afternoon Collection was originally released on April 18th, my birthday, 2017, for the PC and for the PlayStation 4 and for the Xbox One, but not at the time for the Nintendo Switch. And I mean, the rationale for that, as you can imagine, is at the time, the Nintendo Switch pretty much had just come out, and it's hard to remember, it's hard to visualize these days. Nobody was exactly sure what was going to happen with the Nintendo Switch. You know, third parties were very hesitant about getting on the Nintendo Switch because they weren't, I mean, the Wii U had just sold very, very badly, and so nobody really knew what was going on with Nintendo Switch. But very shortly afterwards, after the release of Disney Afternoon Collection, which brought together DuckTales, DuckTales 2, TaleSpin, Darkwing Duck, and the Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers games, all the classic Capcom-developed NES games, people started asking, hey, can you bring this to Switch? We never gave up the dream. And finally, almost 9 years later after its original release, because we kept fighting for it, we're now finally able to release Disney Afternoon Collection on the Switch 1 and even the Nintendo Switch 2. So that's kind of where we're at as far as that goes. I was not part of Digital Eclipse when this game was being developed, and this was, I believe, Frank, the second product from the reborn Digital Eclipse. So why don't you take it from there?
Yeah. Yes, so we kind of reformed Digital Eclipse. I don't know. We don't need to get into the inside baseball of like what the corporate entity was. Sure. I mean, so I was an employee of a different company because Digital Eclipse wasn't a company at the time. It was called Other Ocean, and Other Ocean still exists. It is a game developer, mostly work for hire, meaning paid to do things for other people, and at Other Ocean, for a while because the original Digital Eclipse, like 1992 Digital Eclipse, was still in our DNA, and indeed some of our staff, went back to Digital Eclipse, old DE. We, always loved and wanted to get back into some of the sort of retro re-release stuff that Digital Eclipse had become known for, the original. We had been pitching for a long time the idea of bringing specifically NES games to modern consoles. And if you want to get really deep into that, it's because we weren't emulating the console. We were doing what's called static recompilation of the games. And the nerds listening can look into that. But so yeah, we when we finally landed a product,
Sam, you missed it. You missed it, Sam. You gotta go. You gotta get the other.
Oh right, I'm supposed to watch this.
Oh yeah, it's okay.
You don't have to.
I'm watching. I'm paying attention to both, but Sam, there's more hidden. You gotta go up over the ceiling. The ceiling.
Up over the ceiling.
There's more.
Well, I didn't even know about that.
You always gotta check the ceilings.
Watch the YouTube video.
Is over here.
That's crazy.
If you're listening on audio, watch the YouTube video, and you'll know what just sent Chris off a cliff.
All right, sorry.
So anyway, we
no, it's all good. I like it.
We had the tech, and we ended up signing a game with Capcom that ended up being Mega Man Legacy Collection, and at the time, Other Ocean, again, it was a company we worked for. It wasn't really a company like known by game players. You know what I mean? Because we were mostly just kind of mercs. We were doing work for hire, work for other companies. And so we didn't want to just put that label on Mega Man. We kind of wanted to start something new, which is when we essentially bought back the rights to Digital Eclipse, which I believe at the time was like the name and the IP and like a conference room table. In fact, Chris, it's that glass one that's upstairs.
Oh, that came with it?
Yeah, that was part of the Digital Eclipse acquisition. Was that?
Oh my gosh,
table.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah.
Same office all these years?
No. But like,
Well,
it's like
it
2 blocks
almost
from
was.
here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like 2 blocks down across the street in Emeryville was where, I mean, that was where it was founded. In
That's
like
where Digital Eclipse was in 92. Yeah.
Yeah, 92. Yeah, 92.
92 was
so
Digital
they were
Eclipse.
just-
94 was the first Digital Eclipse game, but in
Game.
92
Yes,
to
92.
94 was like productivity stuff, I think.
Yep, on Doyle Street in Emeryville, and now we're not there anymore. We're in an undisclosed secret location that's pretty close to that. Yeah.
But anyway, we did Mega Man, and that's when we brought back the name and did new, logo and brand treatment and all that, and shipped the Mega Man game, and then Disney Afternoon was essentially the follow-up to that with Capcom, where they wanted to continue, doing more NES stuff because we had done it, and they just assumed it would be like really cheap now. We had to correct them on that. That's sort of the genesis of Disney Afternoon was that Capcom came to us and said, we want to do some of the Disney NES games now that we've done Mega Man, and that was the impetus of that conversation. And it did go through a little bit of an evolution in terms of like the initial idea and what it became. I don't know if that's interesting to people or not, but I can go through that.
There was I saw a joke asset that was sort of buried in one of the folders as we were going through the archives for this. That was like a joke title screen somebody had made that says like the Disney Capcom whatever we could get collection.
Oh, I don't remember that. That's
okay. Maybe it wasn't shared around, but it was. I think it was just sort of thrown together as it was sort of being ideated. Like, well, what is this? What is the overarching theme that connects all of these games? Because it was just sort of a list of. It's not like it's just here's the other games.
Yeah, when it started, what they asked for was 5 games, and they named them. It was. DuckTales 1 and 2, Darkwing, TaleSpin, and The Little Mermaid.
What a swerve!
I kind of pulled something here, and I'm gonna tell the story. I don't care.
Yeah, tell the story. What is it?
You don't work here. They can't fire you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, our partners at the time, Capcom, they kind of gave us this list, and we know the NES games, we know the Capcom Disney NES games. Then we're like, guys, Rescue Rangers? ? And they're like, well, we heard that Disney is doing something with that IP, so we want to hold on to that and do it later. And I didn't like that.
What
so
year was this
have a
again?
title
Give us a year at this point.
When
this conversation
2015. This came out in 2017, so this is probably 2015, 2016.
2016.
Right. So this is when they were gearing up for that movie.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
I believe that's the product they were thinking of, although that didn't happen for years. So I didn't like that.
And things famously always happen according to the plans.
Yeah, and immediately.
Yeah, exactly. Totally.
So this is the shenanigan I pulled, and I swear this is true.
Love it.
I wanted Rescue Rangers in this collection. I was willing to work us extra to get Rescue Rangers in this collection. So yes, at first it was the sort of like hodgepodge of Disney games, but we didn't have a title or a brand or anything. So my scheme was, let's start calling it the Disney Afternoon Collection, because most of the games were part of the 1990s television programming block, the Disney Afternoon. And my scheme was they would show that to Disney, and Disney would go, where's Rescue Rangers? And then Capcom would come to us and say, hey, we should include Rescue Rangers. And that literally happened. like it literally went according to plan, just like that. Where I essentially forced the issue to happen. It also forced us to add a 6th game at no additional cost to our partners at Capcom, but we were happy to do it. Awesome. I want to pause here though and say that I was not the producer or the designer on this product. So I was on Mega Man Legacy Collection, but for Disney Afternoon, I was there for the sort of biz dev part of it, right? Like the forming of it with Capcom. And then I actually left the studio to start the Video Game History Foundation, but worked as a consultant, mainly on the bonus features and the time attack / boss rush stuff. But I didn't actually like produce the product. That was Jeff Knockbauer was the producer, and Glenn McKnight was the designer of the product.
Cool, great. Yeah, that's awesome. I love the behind the scenes stuff, and it's good to know that the history of Digital Eclipse kind of saying, yeah, we want to do these extra things. Like
we're gonna pull shenanigans to do more work.
But more like we're just gonna do this anyway. Like yeah, this is like way beyond scope, but we just really feel passionate about it and want to do it. Like good
we
to
did
know
that later
that
with SNK 40th too. They wouldn't let us put baseball stars in, so we said, can we just do it on the Xbox One for free? And they're like, yeah, I don't know.
Well, it definitely happened with Atari 50. That's for sure.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. We always get up to some sort of shenanigans. And
but we want it in there. You're like, all right,
makes the product better. Yeah,
appreciate the passion, no doubt. I mean, that's great. So, so now we're here. Beyond that, we are. What year is it? 2026. So we are just about 9 years later. And there's also. I mean, it's similar to what happened, like when I first started at Atari, it was 2017. So that was the year that the Switch came out. And I remember, like, from that point on, like very early on, we were trying to get Roller Coaster Tycoon Classic on the Switch. And that didn't actually happen until last year, I think. So, a lot of different reasons why that took so long. But, as far as the producers like myself, Mark, and the other guys at the time, like from the jump, we were like, no, we should do this. But then various powers that be just didn't allow it to happen. And then, thanks to a lot of the new leadership that we have here, we're finally able to get it happen. And it's awesome. It's great.
Yeah.
And people loved it. That's the one people wanted. So it was very cool. So yeah, let's pivot and start talking about some of the new stuff that's in this release, because let's acknowledge facts here. There was a small little, let's say a little leak here. I think that happens every so often where, the game, I think the rating came out a few weeks ago and people saw, oh my God, this game's finally coming to Switch. But little did they know, we got some surprises. And by we, I mean you. So Chris, tell us about it. What do we?
Well, before you forget, what's new to me that I'm seeing on screen is Rewind. We didn't have that in the original.
Oh, that wasn't in the original.
Oh no, I think you did. I believe Rewind was in the original. Yeah.
It wasn't in Mega Man, and I thought we introduced it for SNK 40.
I believe it was introduced for this.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, go on.
Well, it's literally been 9 years, Frank. We forget things, but
you know what? You might be surprised to learn I didn't play this every day since it came out.
Yeah, right.
Well, I haven't seen this since it was in development.
Once we release games, we tend to try to forget about them and block out all of the trauma as a trauma response, right?
This one was nice for me, but I agree.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was a good experience working on this one.
So, in addition to, first people, for the first, 5 years, everybody was like, they should put this on Switch. Then, for the next, sort of 4 years after that, it was, they should bring this to Switch, and also, they should add Capcom's Goof Troop and Bonkers games, because those, for the SNES, because those were also both cartoons from the Disney afternoon programming block, so it makes sense thematically. Those are also both games people enjoy. And yes, this did not leak out, but we have added Goof Troop and Bonkers. Goof Troop, which sort of famously was one of the earliest games designed by Shinji Mikami, pretty much right before he, co-created the Resident Evil series with that team at Capcom. So it's a quite a good, fun game. Sam, I don't know if you want to show Goof Troop. I know you're going kind of game by game, but if you want to jump into Goof Troop, we can show folks that. And then of course Bonkers, also quite a fun character action platform game, very similar in style to a lot of these NES games. And so that's in there as well. And so, yes, so thank you again. thank you to everybody who has been waiting for this on the Switch. We are bringing it to you, and we're bringing extra bonus games alongside that. I should point out, these are bonus games. They don't have the cool time rush and boss attack modes, unfortunately, that the NES games have. That was not like in the scope of this project, but they are fully playable. They've got the same the how to play kind of instruction manual things, and it still has rewind and everything. And Goof Troop is a co-op game, so you can play as Goofy and Max at the same time, making the game quite frankly, I think it's a easier to go through it in co-op mode because you can kind of team up against these screens.
I cannot believe you just glossed over the Shinji Mikami part. Like,
you wanted to talk
you just kind of glossed. You just ran so far over it. People, if you don't know, you got to give credit where credit is due, because it's such a wild fact that Shinji Mikami, director of Resident Evil, of Vanquish, God Hand, also Goof Troop.
Also Goof Troop. And also Goof Troop. Yep. And it's a great game. People love it. It's really fun. Good. Yeah.
So, Chris, I don't know if I told you the story, but when I was talking to Andy McNamara when he was still editing Game Informer magazine, when we were doing that archival project in their office, he told me his memory of Capcom coming in for the first time with like a really early preview of Resident Evil was that it was a more overhead co-op game. I was like, oh my god, Goof Troop. It started as like
horror Goof Troop. A Goof Troop like son of a gun. That makes a ton of sense.
That's
crazy.
Awesome. A lot of similarities. You save on a typewriter. No, that's not true. You don't do that.
These are such great additions. Well, I don't know if Bonkers is. I've never played Bonkers.
Bonkers is good. It's good.
But Goof Troop's good.
Another orange bobcat that we've saved.
The best orange bobcat, the second best orange bobcat in all of video gamedom.
You know what?
I had two nickel. If I had a nickel for every time, I'd have two. It's weird nickels. That it happened twice.
It might be some weird thing with me because I also hate the cartoon Bonkers. I think it's
okay.
So maybe I just have but I like my own orange cat, so it's not that.
Right. Yeah.
Your orange cat named Bubsy?
We've even added in no Bonkers. We've even added in some extra Bonkers related bonus content as well, which we'll see when we start going through the museum. So actually, Frank, you could tell us a little bit about the putting together of the bonus content, the museum, the galleries. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bounce out of this. Let's go through that.
Yeah, I can go into that.
Yep.
You've done a lot of these since then, so let's just say that a lot of this sort of interactive documentary thing was a concept we were developing at the time. So Mega Man Legacy had a pretty simple sort of gallery and soundtrack viewer. With this one, so when I was working on these products, I approached each one as its own distinct thing, right? Like what and in terms of like, who is this for and what's the story we're trying to tell. So with Mega Man Legacy, to me that was okay, we have existing fans of Mega Man. That's going to be who buys this. I want to go a little deeper and show them some concept art and things that'll excite them that they don't need a lot of onboarding for. They'll just know. With this one, our concept was, okay, we think that the primary demographic is someone nostalgic for the IP, maybe not necessarily the games. And so a lot of the bonus, the UI certainly reflects that, right? Like it's very much a 90s nostalgia play. It's, Saved by the Bell squiggles and stuff like that everywhere, right? But then, the museum gallery stuff, for the most part, what I focused on was the transition, from cartoon to game, right? So pencil to pixel, is like that gallery in particular, really kind of reflects, like, as much as we could, how these things were made. At the time, Capcom, we lucked out with our production staff on the Japan side, in that they went and retrieved their paper files that they still had for these games somehow, and they didn't send over things like their game designs, but what they sent was the hundreds of pages of faxes that Disney sent them. And so, what I had to work with was, okay, we have, oh, by the way, this art that you're seeing, like the paintings, we actually got from a private collector who bought out the marketing assets from the design firm that worked with Capcom. So these are actually 4.5 by 5 inch pieces of film that I scanned on loan from that guy Bronte. He goes by. You probably know Bronte, Chris.
I know Bronte.
Yeah. So anyway, like what we had to work with was and then Capcom had this art, like the manual art, which is cool. And I had to actually recomposite it because I think the Scrooge part of that art might have been like Disney made separately, and then the backgrounds was like a separate layer. So these were actually recomposited by me, and sometimes I had to do different layers for the cane overlapping or not. But anyway, so we had this art that they'd made that they'd kept. They didn't keep any design work, but they kept reference stuff that was sent to them by Disney. And so it's like, okay, what story can we tell with this material? And what we focused on, I love these pieces, by the way, these Rescue Rangers pieces. What we focused on was, the transition essentially from like the reference material devs were given to their artwork, and then essentially the marketing and packaging and stuff like that. And to me,
we often kind of found that to be the case with future projects too. Like we worked on with we did the Jungle Book, for the Disney Classic Games collection, and I was looking at like the source code and the in-game sprites and the character model sheets, and it's like Disney would provide the character model sheets to the game designers for the characters, and they'd be like, okay, and they just copy it directly into pixel art. Right. Yep. They're not interpreting it. As you have there with Wildcat, or as we have here, this new thing. So Disney sent over
this is great.
Character size or character height comparison charts. Very important for animation to know when the animators are doing the cartoon, how tall are these characters in relation to each other. They refer back to this lineup. And so they provide this to Capcom's artists, and they literally just create copies of these poses, for Goofy and Max, and they use this in one of the in the menus. And so you start making those comparisons, and they start jumping out pretty quickly. And like this is used in the character select menu, et cetera, et cetera. So we got this. So this stuff we got from Disney, and again, that was looking at what you had done in the original version and saying, how do I match this? And so I'm like, okay, well, if you guys have character model sheets, things of that nature, send those along and I'll compare them to the game. And even actually this one right here, Lucky Pickell, who is Bonkers' human cop partner, there's this, character design of him in traction in a hospital, and then you can see that Capcom's artist just sort of copied directly from that for one of the cinema scenes in the game. And then I, again, knowing that you had done all the photoshopping on all of these, I'm just like, well, I'll just do all the photoshopping for the new ones, and I'll try to match exactly what Frank did as far as, the layouts and things like that, or the comparison layouts between the original or the concept sketch and what ended up appearing in the game as well. This was all, what you had done on this, Frank, was really very inspirational, I think, not only for like the additional stuff here, but like for other Digital Eclipse projects, because again, there was that period of time where Frank left Digital Eclipse, I joined Digital Eclipse, and I just sort of had to immediately start carrying on like what he had been doing on all of these projects. And what you did here with the pencil to pixel stuff, the captions, in not simply, I think, going beyond a caption, just saying like, here is some concept art from this game, but actually really trying to do like a museum label style thing that actually adds understanding and knowledge of like, what is this? What was this originally used for? What were Capcom's pixel artists doing with it? And then making these connections here, like this, I think was very evolutionary, I think, in terms of like how we discuss game design within games. And so this is really like a major building block of like what we're all trying to do today at Digital Eclipse, is to kind of hit this same level of insight and analysis and connecting the dots for people, because so many times some like the bonus content in video games is just the dots, and it's like you just got to go that extra step and actually like put it together and explain how it all works.
Yeah,
this is so cool.
Thank you for saying so. Thank you for noticing. That was the inspiration. Obviously, was museums, right? But also, I didn't do any of that on Mega Man Legacy. But again, it didn't seem necessary for this. It was, there was kind of a need to sort of, at least for me, to like justify the existence of this product as being something more than just a collection of things for people to be nostalgic about. But also, I think a lot of this was possible because of how much I reduced the scope of these bonus features. This is so I worked on four of these. So I did Mega Man and then this, and then I did the bonus features on Street Fighter 30th, most of them anyway, and then I actually did production design, etc. on SNK 40th. But this one was maybe my favorite because of how refined this is. Like, this gallery is just like, I think the best in-person museum galleries are the ones where like the captions are one sentence. You know what I mean? And it just goes right in you, and you can remember it, and you walk away. And I feel like we did succeed on this one with that, including things like the odds and ends. I love this unpublished piece that Capcom just had and sent us, this DuckTales art. But yeah, I mean, that was the goal, was to make this make sense. This is my poster. I bought this on eBay.
I'd even like to take your point further, because not only does one sentence kind of explain it, I think a lot of these examples of things that you've shown, like, you don't even need a sentence to explain it. That's what's so cool about it. You can say, "Oh, this is the concept. This is in the game. This is awesome." Like, it's
right,
really,
but then you add that sentence that
you add the additional context,
says things like, this design was from the episode Categories Not Included, which I saw that go by and I was like, oh, it's a good caption.
Yep, adding that in there and making I think that specifically was like, oh right, like we have to explain this stuff, and if you explain this stuff, it gives it so much more like context, and it's you can talk about that sort of contextual kind of thing, and it makes it more interesting. That's really when I'm like, because I wasn't the lead writer on like Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. That was Dan Emmerich, and that was the first one where he took the lead writer thing. And when we're talking about it, I'm like, it's kind of like set up punchline, set up punchline, set up punchline. This is what it is, and then here's an interesting detail about it that you might not have noticed, or here's some context that makes you think about it differently, or makes you think that it's cool. And so that's what we really try to hit with each one of those little captions as you're going through a timeline in an interactive documentary. Like, what is this? And then, like, what's something you didn't notice that might be considered interesting about it?
Yeah, I think this is closer than even a couple of the other ones I did to what you guys are doing now. Like, this does kind of feel like, a mini version of what you guys do now.
Yes.
So these time attacks. So we were also thinking about who is the audience for these retro games. Like, how are people experiencing them right now? And this was when GDQ, Games Done Quick, started getting really big. And then like speed running became a popular way of sort of interacting with legacy content, whether it was playing or watching, right? Like, a lot of people just watched people speedrun games that were older than they were. And so that was our inspiration for the time attack and the boss rushes. Was we watched the way people played these old games, and they had what's called splits, right? Where every time they accomplished part of their run, they would like hit the split and then go on to the next thing. In this case, it's all the boss names, right? But we automated that. We essentially made like automated splits for speed runs for these things. But then time attack, there was some sort of game design here, minimally. But the way that we do these boss rushes is this was an evolution of something we did in Mega Man Legacy called I don't remember what we called it, like remix mode or something like that. But essentially we were able to plop you in wherever we wanted in any of the stages, essentially by creating a save game in that moment, like a snapshot of the game. For these boss rushes, I was very meticulous with the save states. So in Darkwing Duck, for example, you know, I watched how people speed ran the games, and they would. I know Sam doesn't know things like press select to change weapons, but you know, in watching speedruns,
did you?
I noted
did you preload
that,
weapons in here. Oh,
yeah. So I did
that.
preload an exact count of weapons that I wanted for the bosses. So I noticed that. Well, first of all, the arrows. I think I give you like exactly the number of arrows that it would take to defeat the boss.
I see.
And I noticed that a lot of the speedrunning, they would get as many arrows as they could without going out of their way to speed up the boss fight. So I wanted to give them, you know, that option. On TaleSpin, so TaleSpin is a game where as you progress the game, you get currency to upgrade your plane. So you get like more shots on screen, it goes faster, stuff like that. I don't remember all the stats, but I manipulated the game, the save games, so that you have a fully powered up plane for the entirety of the boss rush, which is something that you literally can't do in the game. You can't fight the first boss with all of your powers intact, but that's what we gave you. And then the thing that was the biggest pain, can you exit out and do DuckTales 1 boss rush?
Yeah.
So DuckTales is a game that has your score on screen at all times, meaning your currency. And so, like, you know, in order to make you save,
that just jumping around, being random.
Right, exactly. So, I'm not like I'm not good at like hacking the binary of an NES game, but I am good at manipulating the values that are in memory, like in RAM. So we didn't have time to really do it right. So what I did was I was able to just go into memory and just like zero out all of the score and I don't think I did the time. I might have, but or did something at the time. But essentially, yeah, I zeroed out the score. And also, you know, just figuring out exactly where you want to place, you know, time-wise the save state. Like, it was to the frame. I was like going frame by frame, you know, in the Eclipse engine to like drop you at the exact like music cue. So like if you do DuckTales 2 with all, I'm not asking you to, Sam, but if you were to play DuckTales 2, like when I drop you into each boss fight, it's just very specifically like on the note that I want you on, like, you know, when the screen like takes control of you and starts scrolling, because I wanted it to feel, you know, good. I didn't want any jankiness to it. I wanted it to feel like it was designed this way the whole time, as opposed to being something that we sort of did this abstraction layer on top of the original game and sort of hacked it to be. I wanted it to feel like there was always a boss rush. And
these
just
are
a weird random memory
handcrafted artisanal boss rushes.
That's
like
right.
By Frank Cifaldi. Yeah.
Just a weird random memory as I'm looking at this. Like, I remember like manipulating it at first to like say something like "Go Scrooge" or something like that. Like I got rid of the dollar sign and the zero and just like yeah. But I ended up just not doing that. Because that seemed ridiculous. I just gave you $0, which is not in character. Maybe I should have done all 9s.
Right. Or put boss rush.
Yeah. I think what I did at first was I said Scrooge fight with an exclamation point, which to me sounded like something that would have been in a Japanese made game.
Absolutely, yeah.
I noticed the order of these bosses. Is that the usual, like, is that the speed run route?
Oh, that's
instead of the Amazon boss first.
I don't
remember. When I play it, I usually just play in the order the levels are on the.
Is that not what this is?
No, because the first level is Amazon, so that would be the Incan Sentinel.
You know, I think I didn't do that. So I don't know. I think I inherited, you know, the order and placement that they had done already, and just kind of cleaned it up and you know, added some design to it. So I don't think I did the ordering. So I'm not sure how they did that. I do kind of remember that they had to name some bosses Like I don't think these are canon names.
Not
from the
canonical
original.
names.
Or at least on some of them. I don't remember which ones.
How do you get away with that then? If they're, because I guess, are they,
You just do it and ask
not
for
a-
approval.
no, I mean, are they original characters or are they based on existing characters? that
Oh,
are
these
just
are
nameless?
original characters. Yeah.
Oh,
Do
okay,
not
cool.
steal. Dracula
Yeah,
Duck.
been wrong.
There is, as you surely learned by reading Pencils to Pixels, there was a Dracula duck-like character in the original, but it's not this character.
I am not the one that would know that. Sam would probably know that.
Yeah, Magica and the Terra Firmi are from the show.
That's true.
If you want to
rest of
discuss,
Snow
Things,
Monster,
uh,
maybe.
yes. If you want to discuss things we had to name, you can also check out the music player. If you want to check out another feature of Disney Afternoon Collection.
This is awesome because
and
you
you
are going organically to everything I have on my checklist.
We're
And I don't have
pros
to say
at
a
this.
damn word. This is the easiest podcast ever. I love it. I don't have to do the recording. I don't have to ask any questions.
Get the,
This is great.
So in this
is cute.
case,
I don't
actually
remember. I don't remember doing these square CD
Doing
cases,
these?
but that's cute.
yeah,
probably Glenn.
those were in the original. Yep.
That's probably Glenn did that.
I can tell you about. So if you go to Goof Troop, so the thing is, when you start trying to figure out what to title these tracks, you start seeing things on the internet. In this case, these track titles are actually in the game. There is a sound test, and if you go in the sound test in Goof Troop, and you start scrolling through, these are the actual titles that appear in game. So that part's easy, and that's why you see these titles online, because those are the titles. For Bonkers tracks do not have official titles, so I had to. Basically, I just tried to use verbiage that was in the game at the time that these tracks were playing. So like Toon Treasures Taken, I think that was the headline on the newspaper when that's playing. On the internet, people refer to the Iris In and Iris Out tracks as fade in and fade out, but they're not. They don't fade in and they don't fade out. They iris. That's all, folks, when it, the circle closes in or closes in. So I named those Iris In and Iris Out. Otherwise, it was what is the Ocean Liner stage is when you beat that stage, it says Ocean Liner stage cleared. So I'm like, that's the canonical name. I didn't want to get fancy, but we needed something. So like that's something you had to do too. I had to name all the tracks in SNES Aladdin also because they didn't have canonical names. We needed something for the music player.
Yeah, and if they had canonical names in development, it was just like Cave.
And in this case, Rescue Rangers, it's Zone A, Zone B, Zone D, or Zone C. Who knows? Ending.
It's awesome.
I don't like that decision. Sorry, that one wasn't me.
It could be better. Could be better.
Should we look at Bonkers real quick and then
Yeah.
and then move on to this silly
Let's
game?
have a look at that guy.
Yeah, because that's the other new game here. Sam,
Last
how do you feel
bit
about
of a
Bonkers?
I thought this
You a
was
fan?
interesting. This released like at the same time as another NES game.
Yeah, well, that's
yeah.
why
Late-
DuckTales 2, that's why Chippendale Rescue Rangers 2 is the most expensive of all the games in this collection, because
so late.
towards the end of the life of the NES, Frank, I think you know a little something about the lifespan of the Nintendo Entertainment System, but towards the in the 90s, like, when the 94, they were still releasing some games, but they were releasing games primarily, a lot of it was little kids still had an original 8-bit NES.
Like
They were
hand-me-downs.
primarily going out and sorry,
Like hand-me-downs is, I think.
hand-me-down NESs, or
Yeah.
grandma had the NES at their house and the kids had the Super NES. Remember, this is 3 years into the lifespan of the SNES. Only 1 year prior to, no, actually the same year the PlayStation launched in Japan, right?
Yeah.
So the primary market for a lot of this was little kids with an NES. They don't actually have any money. They're going to Blockbuster because video game rental is legal now. So now they're going to Blockbuster Video, which is generally like doing deals sometimes with these publishers. And like in some cases, video rental stores are buying up a lot of the stock of these games because there's still a market for kids to go into Blockbuster every week and be like, oh, what game do I want to rent? And so with stuff like Chippendale's Rescue Rangers 2, this is not to say they didn't have it at retail, but they did not print very many copies of it. It was just sort of addressing that remainder 8-bit market of young kids that still wanted to play like cartoon-based games. That's the only reason they even like released it. But to get it now, especially to get it with the box and instructions in nice condition, is quite expensive because they just did not make a whole lot of them.
Or you can buy the Disney Afternoon Collection and get 7 additional games.
That's true. Oh. That's what I do.
This guy knows how to sell a game. I love it. What's the retrospective view on this game? Do people like it? Is it favorable? Like, just because it's rare doesn't mean
Bonkers. Chippendale Rescue Rangers 2 or Bonkers? Bonkers is also a little bit harder to find, like with the box and instructions. This one is definitely like cult classic. We said at the top of the show that pre-orders are open, right? Digital pre-orders are open. Physical pre-orders are open. This is the first time Disney Afternoon Collection has ever been physical.
That's right.
At all, on any platform. Because at the time it was released, it was a low-cost, budget, downloadable only game. Yeah. And there was no physical edition. So now you can finally own it physically. We're doing some cool stuff for the physical edition. I'm not quite sure what we've announced at this point as far as like the actual details of what's in there, but I think I can get away with saying
I'll bring up the listing from. Oh wait, I don't have the listing because it's not live.
You don't have the listing because
does it come with the backpack? Does it come with the official backpack?
I wish it did.
I can do some digging. I can do some digging. Hang on.
Nice backpack though.
Keep stalling, Chris. Keep stalling.
No, I know what we're doing. I mean, I think we've announced it because at this point, because if physical pre-orders are open, then we must be telling people what's in there. But there's some cool stickers, and there's a reversible cover actually using that cool previously unreleased art that we showed earlier. There are milk caps. Playing the classic 1990s game of milk caps. Usually known by a brand name that I am forbidden to say. And what else is in there? Some cool art cards that reproduce some of that beautiful art that we saw. So yeah, there's some good stuff in that physical edition, basically. So as a thank you bonus for finally getting to own this physically.
It's awesome. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Because again, there wasn't a physical version, so all I have is the stuff that they gave to the media.
Yes. If you're just listening on audio, Frank is sitting in front of a display case with every single piece of physical merchandise or game, whatever, that was ever made for Mega Man Legacy Collection and the other Digital Eclipse products that he worked on. There is precious little Disney Afternoon.
There's no Disney Afternoon.
There's no Disney Afternoon at all. I think we have a snap bracelet that was made.
There were 4 colors. I have all 4. Here's
yeah. You got to go to the YouTube video.
There we go. Yeah. So
I don't know where they all
check out
are.
The snap bracelet.
I don't have a complete press kit.
I think we as the developer have one, and it's just sitting up in our showcase upstairs. Yeah.
The backpack?
What do you have there for? No, of the snap bracelet.
Oh, the snap bracelet. Yeah.
But you have all 4.
I do. I don't know where they all are. I think I have 2 of these backpacks. I don't know where the other one is. They came with like 90s candy, so I have a ring pop. And
ring pop. Yes.
Also, they didn't send you this, right?
Actually, this one was sent to me.
Oh, that's nice.
Semi-secretly by Stephanie.
Yes.
Who was at Stephanie Palermo, who was at Capcom at the time. So they had the press kit and these like folders with stickers, and she didn't send me the press release, so I don't have that in here. I do have the sticker sheet with Nina did the art, right? Nina Matsumoto.
Nina Matsumoto did the awesome box art for this, the original box art. Yeah.
That was actually my request. I remember that.
You got the folder, but no Trapper
nice.
Keeper.
Well done. Yeah. Well done.
Sorry, what was the question about the folder?
I said you got a folder, but no Trapper Keeper?
No, yeah, it's just a Trapper Keeper folder without a. But yeah, I think they did a really good job of doing like the sort of 90s, retro aesthetic thing on the PR swag. But I'm glad regular folk can get physical Disney Afternoon stuff. Do you? So there was never a physical game, as we know, right? But I do have somewhere, I don't know where I put it. Someone made bootleg Famicom cartridges.
I was just looking at one of those because we had one too kicking around. Yes.
Yeah, because I bought 4 of them from AliExpress and kept them in the office.
That's awesome.
But yeah, there's a bootleg cartridge that uses Nina's art and says Disney Afternoon Collection on it.
And
So
it's
I
just
bought 4
it's
because I'm like,
four
this
of
is
the
the
games, right? Or,
Well,
or it's all 6 games.
my thought at the time was, this is the closest we'll ever get to a physical edition of the Disney Afternoon Collection, and I was wrong, and I'm glad to.
Well,
I'm
I
glad
mean,
was
you were wrong, but it was a pretty safe bet. You know what I mean? I mean, who could have possibly predicted that 9 years later we'd be here finally releasing it physically?
Well, that's the thing. At the time, our publishing partners weren't really interested in continuing to revisit. They were done with it, right? But also at the time, physical collector editions for small games wasn't a viable market yet. It was like limited run was just starting, for example, and so it was a little weird to make a physical version of something like this. Like Mega Man Legacy didn't start off it wasn't supposed to have a physical edition. They actually dropped that on us like 2 months before we were shipping. Like, by the way, we need you to make this for physical too. It's like, oh, okay. I'm glad you like what we're doing.
That's crazy to imagine. Wasn't that on DS as well, though? Or
it was, that one was physical.
Okay, got
DS came later. So,
okay.
Our original work order essentially was PlayStation, Xbox, Steam. And then they added 3DS kind of like when we were done. Essentially, they added another SKU to it.
That's awesome. Well, good stuff, fellas. Anything else that people that should know about this upcoming update with some new content?
I think we've covered all of the new update. We've got a few more slides, there in the galleries. We've got 2 more great games. I mean, honestly, it's just it holds up. I've been playing a lot of it, and it holds up against modern day. I mean, obviously, if we were doing it from scratch now at Digital Eclipse, the approach, across the board would be very different. But even though it came out 9 years ago, it still very much holds up with with the quality of the products that we're proud to put out there. So it really, I am very excited for people to get the chance to. If you've been holding off on it, we actually had a friend just tell me that they almost bought it, on a different console, because they were kind of sick and tired of waiting for it to come to the Switch. So it was like, please wait just a little bit longer. We may have something for you.
There you go.
I am one of those people who held out for so long, and now I'm helping release it. So
your patience has been rewarded. But also, people have been asking for this constantly. They never let it drop, which is it's great. You know what I mean? It's great to have that support for so long that people would just constantly say like, I'd still love to have this on Switch with and all inevitably I'd still love to have this on Switch with Goof Troop and Bonkers, because everybody can sort of envision, they could just add Goof Troop and Bonkers,
So, and this goes back to the shenanigans. I just keep, I named it Disney Afternoon Collection, and now there's this expectation,
that it encompassed the entire Disney Afternoon.
Yeah.
Yep. So thank you for the shenanigans, because I think it worked out for everybody.
I think so too, and it's something we would have liked to have done back then. So it fits the product. This, I don't know, from I guess one creator to the next, it's like I do feel like you continued what the tone and everything I was going for. I have no notes, it's just like you really hit it.
Senpai noticed me.
I actually agree that this holds up, and I think it's because of its simplicity, but also just the UX, the UI. I think like because it's so because it's so made from scratch and only for this game, it still holds up because it's the way things slide in and out of the screen, how playful it is. They did a really good job with that, and I think it still looks great. I hadn't seen this game in like 9 years, and I'm watching the video and I'm like, no, this looks great. I'm proud of this. This looks awesome.
I would also like to point out the original game, again, for whatever reason on the part of the publishing partner, was not translated into Japanese and was not released in Japan. I would like for our Japanese listeners to point out that thanks to me being really loud about it, we do have Japanese language support now. It is going to be available on the Switch shop in Japan. Actually worked with the great localization team at 8-4, one of the best in the business in Japan, to make sure that it is actually good. And is not, because there was, like, actually poking through the files at one point, there were some, like, localized Japanese strings. And then
That was
it
just
would
a
be
copy paste from Mega Man, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, whoever had done it had translated, like, duck as in crouch, as in duck as in the animal. So
Nice.
they had me look at it and be like, hey, can you take a look at this to see how good this is? I'm like, nope, it's all bad. We got to throw that all out.
Wait, we had done some translation but not used it? Is that?
I think so. It was sort of sitting around in there, but again, it's been 9 years, so who's to say, like, what had been done or why or what?
Yeah, and I also wasn't there day to day. I was working from
Right,
home, so.
right. And at this, I mean, you know, the other thing is, it's not. I'm not going to say it's a perfect release, you know, for that Japanese consumer, because it is the American versions, you know, of the games, and that honestly, that might have been part of the hesitancy to release it. Well, with Mega Man Legacy Collection, that was worldwide. Did you have global? You must have had global, or you must have had Japanese ROMs in there as well.
Yeah, I think
right?
you actually, like, if I remember right, you hit a button on the menu to toggle between Rockman and Mega Man, and it just like switches the entire thing.
Nice. Oh, that's right. And it changes it to Rockman. We did something similar actually for Ninja Turtles for Cowabunga Collection, because we had a, you know, switch your region on the main menu, and it not only switched the region, but it switched, because some, like, Ninja Turtles 3 in the US was Ninja Turtles 2 in Japan, that sort of thing. So we had to make sure that we actually changed all of that as well. But you know, again, it's fun for everybody, because we translated the titles for the Japanese ROMs as well. So it's like, if you wanted to play the Japanese ROM but have your interface was still sort of in English, you know, you could do that. So yeah, in this case, it is the US ROMs, but the menu, the interface, everything is now, you know, fully localized into Japanese. We picked a nice font that has that. You kind of reminded me of this when talking about the playfulness and the, you know, the sliding and the bouncy everything, and, you know, we had to pick a nice font for the Japanese to work with that, so we did all that as well. So it looks real good, and I hope that like, you know, because again, all these games, they were all made in Japan. They were all, you know, released in Japan. They sold pretty okay in Japan. So I hope that there's people out there that are nostalgic for these games that now want to go try this.
And even if not, there's Capcom fans for sure, right?
Absolutely.
And were literally all of these released in Japan?
Literally all of them, yeah.
Wow, that surprises me. That's cool.
Unless I'm misremembering, but I think even TaleSpin came out in Japan.
That would be the one I would suspect didn't, but
For Bonkers, maybe, I don't know.
But that would be my second.
Oh, maybe it didn't.
So
you know what? I have to rewind. Let me just rewind. Use the rewind function. TaleSpin did not come out on the Famicom.
So Japanese debut.
Yeah, be cool. Be cool. Comments. All right. If you didn't get this far and you just immediately jumped in to correct them.
And now you're Dark Queen Duck. Oh, interesting. Huh, wow.
Well, now it's definitely been corrected. All right.
I know. Well, now we've got. Well, that's great.
I'll speak for the comment. Shame on you, Chris. You were wrong.
I just assumed. I figured, because, I mean, they were created, I believe, you know, by the Japanese teams. But I guess it makes sense that, you know, even though they were developed in Japan, the audience was presumed to really exist in the U.S.
I mean, that's the conclusion we came to too. You know, like with Mega Man, it was a kind of a global franchise, right? And so we tried to make it represent both sides of the pond, as it were. But for this, you know, our feeling was that these were games, yes, created in Japan, but they were created for the US market. They were overseen, you know, by Capcom USA's team and Disney USA's branding, right? Like these were products that were, you know, just happened to kind of be outsourced to creators in Japan, but were made for the American market. And that's really what we leaned into and that's why we're using, you know, the very American Disney Afternoon branding, which I don't think, you know, was a thing anywhere else even. And And I think that's the right call. You know, these games were catered for Americans.
All right.
Oh, quick
I wanna
shout
move
outs
on.
to
Yeah.
the Escapist Comics in Berkeley and their dollar bin for most of the ads in the gallery. Anyway.
Nice.
Oh, awesome. Good stuff. I always love hearing about where you'd find that kind of material.
I end up
It's
buying
great.
them on eBay. I guess I could go to the dollar bin of a comic store, but so many of these games were not advertised in video game magazines, so it's not helpful if I go to Frank at the Video Game History Foundation and say, Frank, I want the ad for Goof Troop. It's like, nope, turns out the ad for Goof Troop is in an Archie comic, from 1993. So you have to figure out where that is. And I can do it because if you sort of like Google search for Goof Troop magazine ad, and then Google Lens or reverse image search it, you'll probably find it somewhere in like an eBay listing or like in a scan of the comic, and then you can identify what the date of the comic is or what issue of the comic it appeared in. And if you can't do that, you can always figure, well, the game came out in 93. They advertised in Archie Comics. Let me look on eBay listings and then look through the pictures in the eBay listings, and then inevitably it'll be like on the back cover or the inside front cover or something like that of one.
It
of the
was
issues.
usually glossy, yeah.
Yes, and somebody will probably take a photo of the comic book opened up to the first page, and it's like, oh, there's my ad. And then you find the best one, you buy it, and you scan it. And I Photoshopped that myself for these ones too. So if you see anything bad about the Photoshopping, it's my fault. But they look pretty good. I got a really, really nice clean copy, so there wasn't really much that I had to do with it. But it was such a this project was it was a very small team at Digital Eclipse. It was pretty much me and another Bill Schmidt was working on localization. Stephen Frost produced it externally because the programmer on this, Adam Rippon, used to be at Digital Eclipse and has his own studio. So we kind of engaged them.
Shout out Muteki.
To Muteki, we as external developers on this because they understood how it all worked under the hood. And so
it sounds like about the same
people,
team size as the original, actually.
It basically, yes. it probably more people, honestly. But I was like, well, I mean, I'm pretty sure I could just do this in Photoshop myself. And so there was a little bit of I had already done all of the museum stuff, and there was literally one more ad to Photoshop. I'm like, you know what? I'll just do it and kind of just handcraft the whole thing as it were.
Did you I noticed I don't remember what I did for drop shadowing, but did you try to copy what I did on drop shadowing? Because it looks all the same. So that was my drop shadowing? Wow.
That was your drop shadowing. Yeah, so basically
Cool.
I just looked at your drop shadowing. I used the eyedropper tool to get the
It's
exact
the closest
color out
anyone's
of your thing.
looked at any of my Photoshop
And anything you've ever
work.
done. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I used the eyedropper tool. I took the color. I looked down and I'm like, okay, how many pixels are we talking about here? Okay, so I just did that with the drop shadow and I just
after my own
it.
heart. Yeah.
Yes.
That's how it's done.
Well, I knew you did it. You know what I mean? So I'm like, oh, well, I'll just do exactly what Frank did here. It's always good to try something out. You know what I mean? Especially push yourself a little bit beyond your comfort zone. Especially because then I can learn what I can't do. And so once I know what I can't do, then I can, feel better about going to the art department and saying, please save me. But in this case, I was able to deal with it all.
That's awesome. All right, fellas, let's stop talking about this game and let's play another game. I'm going to hold you for a few more minutes so we can play this stupid game I've devised, and then we can move on. So let's see here. Let me just put this thing in here. All right. And so fellas, hard pivot here. We're going to play the Moby Score game. All right. So Frank, how familiar are you with the Moby Score?
With Moby?
On MobyGames.com.
I remember a few of his hits from the 90s.
Yeah.
And
it's similar to
he's
that.
Bald.
Yeah. So
how familiar am I with Moby Score? So are these user scores on MobyGames.com?
Yeah, well, kind of.
Okay.
So really the Moby Score is the Bayesian average of critic and player ratings. You can use the Moby Score to get an idea of how others feel about the game. That's how it defines it on MobyGames.com.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the Bayesian average?
Nope.
Perfect. I got a definition for that, and then we'll all be on the same page. Here we go. The Bayesian inference is a method of statistical inference in which Bayes' theorem is used to calculate a probability of a hypothesis given prior evidence and update it as more information becomes available. That's from Wikipedia. So now we all know what that is. So basically, higher is better. That's kind of the simple way to explain it.
What's the scale?
It's 1 to 10. There are decimals. Now, normally when I do this game, I put in a word, and you guys take turns, 3 rounds, to select games that are appearing in the top 10. Okay. I'm doing things, and then you would get points based on, inversely ranked games. So 10 for 1, 9 for 2, etc. And 0, anything below 10. I'm going to shake things up a bit because there are so many games using this word that I've put in. And I can be a bit of a stickler for exact titles. So the word that I put in is Disney. Okay. So we're going to go 3 rounds here. Each of you will take turns. We're going to go alphabetical by first name. So that means Chris goes first, then Frank, then Sam. And you will give me the name of a game. I will need the exact title. The only thing I can tell you is that Disney is in the title. Okay. It can be Disney. It can be Disney possessive. So Disney's. I don't think there's any other version that shows up in these titles other than that. And I have the top 150 games. There are hundreds of games that use the word Disney in it. And I've taken 150 of them, and you will get the Moby Score amount of points to the decimal. Okay. But it has to be the exact title.
And how many rounds are we doing? How many total are we doing?
3 rounds.
Okay.
All right. So you all get 3 guesses. Chris, your first guess. Give me a game with the word Disney in it. And if it appears on my list of 150 titles.
Highest Moby Score.
Highest Moby Score. And they get very tight. So this is going to come down to the fraction. But again, I want to be clear. I need exact titles.
I'm in the pole position here. I have to think about like what could be the highest rated Disney game with Disney in the title.
Correct.
Okay.
And you need the exact title. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to be a stickler.
Title. Sure.
So if you're not sure, I would go with a safer bet because there's so many games to choose from.
Yeah. Okay. Cards on the table. Disney often puts Disney or Disney's at the front of the titles of a lot of games where you would not necessarily expect it to be there. So I'm going to say like Disney's Aladdin.
All right. Disney's Aladdin.
I think the question is how is Moby listing these? Are they including that Disney at the beginning?
Okay, so sometimes this will happen, and
that is 100% the title of the Genesis
choice.
Game.
They will give me a choice, so you have to tell me now. Give me a console.
Oh, Genesis.
Okay, at number 6 with a 7.8. Disney's Aladdin. Now, just to be fully clear, it says Amiga, Antstream, DOS, Game Boy Color, Genesis.
Yep.
Let's see. There's more. It also, So all of these versions.
Those are all ports of the same core game.
Correct.
Yes.
Yep. Exactly. So that is on the list. Good first guess out of the gate, Frank.
So that was my first guess, but I actually am going to make a weird assumption that Disney's Aladdin Super NES might have a higher score because it's not dragged down by the multi-console nature of this website.
Interesting. All right. Now, if I could just this is the problem with choosing so many of these things. I got to do a Control S. So, Control F. So, Disney's Aladdin, also on Antstream, for Game Boy Advance and SNES.
Yeah.
Is at number 32 with a 7.4.
Wow.
All right.
So not a bad start either. All right. That's why this game gets very weird with all the choices that we have. Also, I want to lock this top row so I actually know who's got what here before I scroll down 1,000 rows. All right. Sam, your first guess out of the gate.
I'm gonna go with one of our new additions, Disney's Goof. Disney's Goof Troop.
Hmm.
It has to be up there. Only a Super Nintendo version.
Yeah.
Disney's Goof Troop. I love it. Three guesses, 3 answers so far. This is what happens when I give a very wide berth. Let's see how this works out. Maybe I'll do it again this way, or not. Maybe I'll never do it again this way. Is number 16 with a 7.6.
Wow.
All right.
Nice.
Okay.
Like I said, things get very bunched. So let me just, so you got number 6, you got number 16,
That's right.
and you got number 32, and the range is 7.4 to 7.8. Chris, your second guess.
I am gonna have to go with. I'm also gonna keep representing this fine collection, and say Disney's DuckTales.
Oh.
Disney's DuckTales console.
NES.
Okay, for Game Boy and the SNES is number 4 with a 7.9.
Whoa!
Mhm,
All right.
mhm.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Frank, what's your second
Disney's
guess?
Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers for the NES.
Disney's Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers for the NES and arcade is number 5
Play
with a
Twist
7.8.
Hmm.
You guys know your Disney games. Sam, what you got?
I'm gonna go.
Second
I'm gonna
guess.
go. I'm gonna go a little recent and say Disney's Epic Mickey rebrushed.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, not the original one, the new one.
Okay.
I love it. And I love that you got the full title in there.
Yep.
It's a beautiful thing. Disney Epic Mickey rebrushed for the Switch, PS4. No,
I was gonna say
he
he did say Disney's Epic Mickey.
Oh, is it Disney Epic
oh.
Mickey?
It's
Does
actually
that dock me?
Disney Epic Mickey.
Oh no!
Does that dock me points?
Is that what you said, Sam?
I did say Disney's.
I'm sorry. That's a big fat 0 on the
Oh
board.
no! What would it have been?
Not going to tell you. It's on the table.
Someone else guess it.
Chris,
I'm guessing-
round 3. Also, way to snitch.
I am not. Well, I was thinking about that because I remember from
fair.
covering, which everybody just called Epic Mickey, that the actual title of the game was not Disney's Epic Mickey. It was because for some reason they were doing this with a lot of their titles. It was Disney Epic Mickey.
Yeah.
At
I
any
said I was
rate,
going to be a
I'm not-
stickler, and you're right. You got in my head. That was.
I'm
you're
not going to
absolutely
say
right.
that. I'm not going to say it. I'm
Okay.
going to leave it. I'm going to leave it for Sam at the end, unless Frank steals it. I will look. I'm just going to say it. Disney's DuckTales 2.
Yeah.
Say that one more time. Just so I make-
Disney's DuckTales 2.
All right. Disney's DuckTales 2 is number 2 on the list
Whoa.
Wow!
with an 8.
Look at that.
Dang!
That's wrong.
And
This is
And I
why
think with
people
that-
wanted us to re-release Disney Afternoon Collection, because these games are really beloved, even amongst Disney
people love
games.
them. Yeah, that's the Bayesian average at work. Frank, your final guess. which
Well, I had a more
believe-
interesting answer, but if they're putting
like it.
this game at number 2, it's fine. It's just very cookie cutter. Then I'm gonna do the other cookie cutter, which is Disney's Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers 2. I'm gonna go with the boring one. Boring answer, not game.
Disney's Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers 2 is number 3 on the list
Oh my god.
with a 7.9.
The thing
Well,
is,
Sam,
neither of these
Sam,
are
your
dragged
final-
down
your
by
f-
Game Boy versions, is what happened there.
Sam, let's hear your final guess to lock in your
We took the
third place spot.
sequels, so those are out. Should I go for Epic Mickey again, or should I go for another a recent pull?
You could also just say any random game. It doesn't really matter. You could also just say something really silly.
How about Disney's Donald Duck going Quackers.
Love
Do you remember the
so
full?
happy.
There are
Now there's-
distinct versions of this game, so you
Yes,
need to
there
name
are.
the console.
Yeah,
Let's
which
say-
console?
let's say I'm trying to remember which one is like well regarded. Let's say the Dreamcast version.
Go with
Mhm.
Donald Dreamcast Duck.
Okay. There are
And
so,
correct me if
there
I'm
are a
wrong.
lot of versions of
Dreamcast
this
is
game.
also N64 is the same game, I believe.
Dreamcast
okay, so
is
there
the
are
N64 version.
4 listings for Disney's Donald Duck going quackers,
Yeah.
which is too many by my count. At 110 with a 6.7 is the PS1 version.
Yeah.
Okay.
At 93 is the GameCube, PS2, and PS3 version. Right above Disney's A Christmas Carol, oddly enough, and that's a 6.8.
Christmas Carol.
At number 49
Game Boy Color or something.
is the Dreamcast, N64, and Windows
right.
version. That's a 7.1, by the way. And then at number 12 is the Game Boy Color version with a 7.6.
Okay. That's pretty
Guess
good
I'll have
version.
to look at that one. Okay.
Solid platformer.
Yeah. You guys, honestly, you got 5 of the top 10. That's really,
Are you
really
gonna run
impressive.
down the top 10 for us?
Yeah, I'll run down the top
let me
10.
know. Let me know. Disney, Epic Mickey rebrushed real quick.
Oh,
yeah, you
number
would have
1.
lost anyway. That was number 18 with a 7.6.
Not bad,
And then
though.
my wanting to see if this would be the correct title, I was going to say Disney Pixar's Toy Story. Is that the title?
Let's see here. Yes.
Okay.
Well, let's
Is it
see.
Did they do Disney
Pixar?
Pixar?
Disney
Okay, so
Pixar
there's
Toy Story.
there's Disney's
Singular
Toy
Disney.
Story for the possessive Disney's Toy Story that was Game Boy, Genesis, SNES, Windows, and then for some reason, like some of these other ones, then they do like the Disney dot Pixar, you know, like whatever that bullet point is, Toy Story Racer.
Oh, okay. I
And
would have
then
gotten
for
it wrong
Toy
'cause I
Story
was
2.
thinking
So
first
after the
game.
original, it's when, because they did that for Toy Story 3 as well.
Okay.
It's interesting. So
They got rid
Branding.
of they got rid of the apostrophe S basically in the branding.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, because they did the same thing. So we're going to see that again in a second. So number 1, and I guess I wouldn't have expected you guys to get this, especially with the exact title requirement.
Mhm.
This is weird. Disney Infinity : Edition 2.0. I wouldn't have asked for the
Specifically
punctuation, but just so you know
2.0,
how much punctuation is in this. 2.0 hyphen Marvel Superheroes.
Okay.
All right. That sounds like a Guilty Gear title. So they like putting in weird, that's a good joke. All right. Number 2 was Disney. That was with an 8.3. That was number 1. DuckTales 2 with for Game Boy and NES. That was with an 8 in number 2. Chippendales Rescue Ranger 2, 7.9 in number 3. Disney's DuckTales, 7.9 with that's number 4. Number 5, Rescue Rangers, 7.8. Number 6, Aladdin, 7.8. 7, this is where we're getting to the Pixar stuff. Disney Pixar Finding Nemo, Nemo's Underwater World. This title's so long. This is a long title. Disney Pixar Finding Nemo, Nemo's Underwater World of Fun. That was number 7 with a 7.8. All right. Then Disney's The Jungle Book for DOS, Genesis, Linux, Mac, Windows with a 7.7. I love Frank's strong opinion. I kind of want to go through this whole list, just keep seeing how you agree with this. Disney's Darkwing Duck at number 9 with a 7.7.
I thought Sam was going to do that one. I really did.
I was trying to pull. I was trying to pull.
You were trying to get too interesting. You got too cute.
Yeah, really. Some kind of Donald game, but.
And then at number 10, I don't think anybody would have got this either, but this one's interesting. Disney Guilty Party for the Wii with a 7.7.
Oh, I remember.
Oh, wonderful game. Very, very good game. Yep. Makes sense. But again, Disney, it's like, what is it? Disney Guilty Party? Disney's Guilty Party? No, Disney Guilty Party.
Exactly. That's where it gets weird. They can't decide whether it's possessive or not. Yeah.
But they do like to put their name into every product for sure.
I was gonna go for Maui Mallard. Where's that on the list?
How do you even
Disney's
spell that?
Maui Mallard in Cold Shadow is the full name, I think.
Not in the top 25. Not in the top 100.
That's a shame.
But but out of curiosity, like if you're wondering what the lowest ranking out of 150, and I got to give props where props is due because this is really strong. The worst in this list at 150 is Disney's Bonkers : Wax Up, because there's an exclamation point.
Oh yeah,
is with a 6.3.
I believe that's the Game Gear.
Yep. Game
version.
Gear and Sega Master System.
Yep.
Developer is Al Baker and Associates.
Oh, the associates helped on
Which
that
It was
which
like
I
his
enjoyed.
Al Baker and his 5 cats.
International Master System release of Bonkers?
There sure was. Look, we already
So-
determined there was a Super Famicom release of Bonkers, so
Yeah,
they were
I don't
really. I
even-
guess they were all in on Bonkers.
It's a global
So-
icon.
Sam, I don't even know how to spell Maui. How do you?
MAUI.
MAUI.
Yeah, I'm on page. I'm like on page 4 of 11 here.
No Maui Mallard or Mallard.
Yeah, it's I don't know, man. Take it up. Take it up with Moby, I guess. All right, fellas, we've gone long. I've even held you longer so you could play this dumb game, but I think we all had a good time. And if not, pretend you did. But let's wrap up. Chris, you are the winner with a 23.7, but it was a squeaker because Frank came in second place with 23.1. And Sam, it's just a pleasure to have you on. So, Chris, as you were the winner, you get to first tell people, where can people find you?
Yeah. I'm on Blue Sky, which is like Kohler.bsky.social, I think is my handle. Anyway, I'm on Blue Sky.
I'll put a link down
that's
there.
where
You could
Yeah,
find
yeah,
that,
yeah. That's where you can find me. Head to digitaleclipse.com for all your curiosities about what we might be working on at Digital Eclipse. And please pre-order Disney Afternoon Collection right now.
Yeah, do it. Frank, what about yourself? Where can people find you?
Yeah, I no longer exist as an individual. I'm only my nonprofit. So find me at gamehistory.org.
All right, Sam, Smug Porky.
Smug Porky on mainly Blue Sky. I post about Bubsy.
Yeah, he does. All right. And you can find me at Jays of Doom on Blue Sky as well. And comment below. I read all the comments. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the reviews that you definitely gave us. Say nice things about these fellas. Go check out the game. Go check out all the other stuff at Atari, all the other things. Links below. And till next time, thanks for listening. And thank you guys for joining.
Yep.
See you next time.
Thanks.